Hello, this is Mr. Dunaway, and let's get started in section 2-4. If you would, please begin by writing down the objective here. Solving equations with variables on both sides of an equation. You can find help on pages 102 and 104 in your book. Also, if you have not yet written your name on your paper, please do that. The hour is good, and the date is very important to put on here, because you will be organizing your notes by date to keep things organized and simple for you. Let's jump right into things here. You should have become masters, I hope, at solving two-step equations. Now we're going to look at what happens when you have a variable on both sides, like number 1 right here, 3x plus 4 equals 5x minus 10. If you have not copied that down on the left-hand side, please do that. And then recopy it in the middle. As we work through the problem, I will be explaining on the right-hand side what it is that we're doing to solve these type of problems. It is of utmost importance that very soon solving an equation like this for you would be very simple to do, simple and accurately and quickly. Well, the topic solving with variables on both sides, in order to solve this, remember what our goal is from the last video, I believe. The goal is to find 1x, the value of 1x. So to do that, you'll notice with variables on both sides, you're going to have to move them to one side. So the first step in this is to move the variables to one side. And the way that you do that is by adding, add, opposite. It's the easiest way to think about it. Move the variables to one side by adding the opposite. Remember to hit pause as I go through this video. I have to talk kind of quick to keep the time under 10. You hit pause, get everything down, rewind when you don't understand. If I add the opposite on this equation, I have two choices. I could add either negative 3x to both sides, or I could add negative 5x to both sides. It doesn't matter. As long as I keep my signs correct, it should work out fine. What am I going to do? I'm going to choose to add negative 5x. So notice I wrote the negative 5x underneath the x, again because we do the math down the page, and I've lined those up because those are like terms. You can add like terms together, because you cannot add the negative 5x to the 4. The whole point is to remove the 5x from that side and get it to one of the other side over there. And again, it doesn't matter which side the x ends up on. It's just that you get it to one side. So this number 1 here, I just showed you right here. That's what I did. I added the opposite. I had 5x, I subtracted 5x, or added negative 5x. So now if I do this, 3 plus negative 5 leaves me with negative 2x. But you still have that plus 4. Don't forget about that. And you still have this negative 10 here. So that's minus 10. That's there, but this 5x minus 5x, that became 0. So it's gone now. So now look what you're left with. You now have 2x plus 4 equals negative 10. To maybe keep things a little more organized here, at least for the video, I'll do that in red. Step 2, you're just going to solve the two-step equation. Say solve the two-step. I'm going to do that right here. And we learned in the last video that you always undo the number being added before you undo anything else. So if I add 4 plus negative 4, that's 0. So what you're left with is this negative 2x. On this side, negative 10 plus negative 4 is negative 14. There you have negative 2x plus negative 14. Now you just solve. Exclamation point is what that was supposed to be. Negative 2x, so I divide by negative 2, because negative 2 divided by negative 2 gives me that 1x left. So I have 1x is equal to 7. 1x equals 7. Now, what you should do at this point, I had to slide down a little bit, didn't mean to go that far, sorry. 1x is equal to 7. What you ought to do, like I said earlier, is to take that answer. I'm going to find a different color here. How about green? And check your answer. So I'll do the green check over on the right hand side. Here, I'm going to take this 7. This is the answer. That's the solution. Okay, the 1x equals 7, that's the solution to what x equals to make this true. We're trying to find out what makes it true for that original equation. If I have the right answer, if I put 7 in for x, both of these sides will end up equal. So look, 3x plus 4. 3, instead of x, I'm going to go 3 times 7 plus 4, and I'm going to work that out. 21 plus 4, right? 25. Okay, let's see if the other side, 5x minus 10, but x is 7, minus 10, 35 minus 10, look what happened, 25. I'm happy, because you know what? That's the answer. You just checked it. 7 is the only number that makes both sides equal there. Okay, and you feel good about things because you don't have to worry, because you know you got it right. If you would, please, hopefully you have about half a page left for some more notes. To do a dotted line right there. And I will scroll on to my next page, and we will knock out another one like this that looks similar but slightly different. So go ahead and copy this one down in hopefully the lower half of that first page for you. And then recopy it in the middle. Well, this one looks slightly different. It's a little bit more complicated. There is one step that we have to do in this one that we did not have to do in the previous question, and that is get rid of parentheses. If you have parentheses, okay, you have to get rid of those first. If you have parentheses or like terms, you have to simplify both sides. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to simplify. I'm going to get rid of the parentheses. And you remember how we do that? That's the distributive property. Distribute. It's a really important rule for algebra that you understand how to distribute, to simplify. I have 2 times 3x plus 1, so I'm going to multiply the 2 there, get 6x plus 1. I'm sorry, 6x plus 2. And then I'm going to, I did that right there, finish my arrows. And then I'm going to take 4 times x is 4x, minus 4 times 5 is 20. Look what you have there. Does that look familiar? It should. It should look like what's on the top of your page. It looks just like this question at the very top of your page. You have variables on both sides. So what are we going to do now? Move the variables. By adding the opposite, and I'll do that on this line down here. I'm going to move the 4x. I'm going to add negative 4x to both sides. Be very careful with your signs here. Okay, be careful with your signs again, because that's negative 20 right there on the right. You don't want to lose track of that. 6x minus 4x, can you do the math down the hill? 6x minus 4x is 2x plus 2 equals negative 20. 2x plus 2 equals negative 20. Now, solve the two-step. Okay, get rid of the number being added, subtract 2. That's 0. You're left with 2x, negative 22. So close. Remember, we want 1x. So I'm going to divide that by 2. And you're going to get x equals negative 11. Negative divided by a positive is negative. That's my solution. Let's check it to make sure, just to show you that we can and you should. I'll do that over here. I'm going to take the negative 11. I'm going to put it in for that x and for that x right there. So let's do the one on the left first. 2 times 3x, I'm sorry, x is negative 11, so 3 times negative 11 plus 1. Let's work that out. 2 times negative 33 plus 1. That is 2 times, I'm running out of room here. I'm going to scroll down, just give myself some more room. 2 times negative 32, and that is negative 64. All right, well, that looks good so far. Let's try it on the other side. Got to scroll back up, see what we had up here. The other side, so it was 2 times 3x plus 1 is equal to 4 times x minus 5. So we're going to go 4 times x minus 5. That would be negative 11 minus 5. I can squeeze it in there. Negative 11 minus 5. That is negative 16. And guess what? 4 times negative 16, negative 64. You did it. Another check, another success. Again, there is your solution. All right, this is part 1 to this section. I'm going to stop it right here and start my next video, and you can pick it up in a minute.